You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible.
Earlier, we had an opportunity to actually show where they are headed, where these protesters are headed. Where they headed is to the home of Andrew Brown Jr. Anthony and I went by there earlier with Wayne Kendall, one of the lawyers on this case, and he took us through and described at the scene what took place on Wednesday. Here is that interview. All right, folks, we're here with attorney Wayne Kendall. He's a part of the legal team for the Andrew Brown Jr. family. We are here at his home. This is where the shooting took place. Wayne, take us through what happened.
Mr. Brown was in his car, in his vehicle, in this driveway, with the front of the vehicle facing the street.
So the front of his vehicle was facing this way?
It's facing Perry Street, which is the street you're standing at. He was sitting in the car when the sheriff's deputies rolled up in pickup trucks and other police vehicles. And apparently they started giving commands, and he to put his hands up or put his hands where they can see him. He put his hands on the steering wheel.
So do you know if the police came from this direction or this direction?
My understanding is they came from this direction off Roland.
So they came from this direction here, so they pulled up right in front of here.
That's correct.
Which means that when they pulled up, they could actually see him.
Right.
He was facing them.
He was facing them. And apparently, at some point, they started shooting through the vehicle. And my understanding was that they were using a 223 AR-15 assault-style rifle as well as handguns. And when that happened, he started to back up. You see the mud on the side of the home over there?
Right.
That's
so
the home he resided in.
Let's walk over here. So what you're saying is he's facing that way. They come up. So he decides to start backing up. And so we see tire tracks right here.
What happened is, if you look carefully at these tire tracks, you'll see over here that this is a double tire track. He backed up, and then he started to go forward. This is a double tire track. You see a line of grass through the track, so there's a double tire track here. He started spinning out and shooting mud up onto the side of the house.
Right.
If you follow the tire tracks,
so
you can see a second tire track right here.
So he backed up there, and then all of a sudden he starts trying to drive way through here.
And you drive through here, and you can see it follow the tire track, and then the car swerves and crashes into that tree over there in Mr. Gordon's yard.
So he crashed. So he came across here.
Right.
And he crashed into that tree over there.
Crashed into that tree, and all the time he was driving across here, they were shooting into the vehicle.
Right. So this is so he came across here and he crashed into that tree over there.
Crashed into that tree over there, and they were shooting into the vehicle.
And so the vehicle came to a rest against that tree.
Against that tree. And they were shooting into the vehicle reportedly from the witness that I talked to, and apparently from the video that our co-counsel saw today. They were continuously shooting into the vehicle, and officers were standing out in this grassy field here as he was rolling across. He had lost control of the car after being hit, and he was hit in the back of the neck and in the back of the head, and some other bullet wounds in other parts of his body like his arms. And he crashed into that tree, and my understanding from the witness that was looking from that house down there, that greenhouse, is that he crashed into that tree, and then they went around the vehicle and continued to shoot into the vehicle.
Even after he had crashed?
Even after he had crashed.
Now the witness you're talking about, she knew him well. And he had sent her a text. Tell me about that.
Well, my understanding is that he sent her a text at 8:20 a.m. on last Wednesday. And at 8:26, he was deceased.
So it took 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
From the moment he texted her to
so he was over here under this tree, deceased with bullet wounds in his head, in the back of his head.
So they've only showed 20 seconds of video. So the whole encounter very well was in the 5 to 6 minute range.
I don't know if it took that long.
Right.
I doubt if it took that long, because my understanding is that he texted her at 8:20, and then by the time she got to her window to look out to see if he was walking toward her house, because she thought he was coming to her house.
Because he often did that.
He often did that. She's married to a significant other with his cousin, and he would always sometimes visit her in her house with his cousin. She thought he might have been coming over to visit, so she looked out the window to see if he was walking toward her house, and that's when she saw his vehicle sitting in this parking pad here. And by the same time that she saw the vehicle sitting in the parking pad, she sees the sheriff pull up. And when she sees the sheriff's vehicles pull up, shortly after that, she sees him bag his vehicle up and spin out across this vacant lot and end up into that tree, and it traumatized her so much. She's an epilepsy sufferer. She has been having continuous seizures. As a result, she says she cannot go to sleep, she cannot close her eyes, she's been traumatized by the event. She knew him well. And she's now, she was crying when she was recounting the story to me this morning. And it was last Wednesday, almost a week ago. And she said she can't get this out of her head. She's been having continuous seizures. And that she's at a loss to how to cope with all of this. Now, you see that house over there? You see you see that 500? You see that box at 2 o'clock?
Yeah.
That's one of the bullet holes. Went through his house.
Wow. Well,
went through his house.
Somebody in that house could have been injured or killed.
Went into his home. He allowed a Fox News person to come in. That bullet went through a wall and hit a pot on his stove.
Wow.
Yes.
It's a miracle somebody else wasn't injured or killed.
Exactly. You can see how close these homes are. And these guys were out here with high-powered 223. Then this was told to us today, that they were out here with AR-15 assault-style rifles shooting in this neighborhood. And
they were allegedly executing a search warrant, a drug warrant, arrest warrant.
Arrest warrant is what I've seen. I've seen an arrest warrant. I don't know about a search warrant.
Got it.
We hadn't seen a search warrant yet, but people have reported that they had a search warrant. I don't know if they had a search warrant.
Got it. Okay. All right. We appreciate it.
All right. I'm going to go to
All right, thanks a lot.
I need to talk to you.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. Hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have that you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.